When did a by-the-book officer finally break protocol and why? Captain Anderson was the most rigid officer I'd ever served under. 22 years in the Army, never bent a single rule. Everything had to follow regulations to the letter. He made us iron our bootlaces, measured the distance between uniform patches with a ruler, wrote up soldiers for having their hands in their pockets during off-duty hours. We called him Captain Regulation behind his back. During our deployment in Iraq, Anderson ran operations like a textbook exercise. Every patrol plan down to the minute, every radio check precisely on schedule, every supply request filled out in triplicate with proper routing. His obsession with protocol drove everyone crazy, but it kept us alive. 0 casualties in 8 months because he followed every safety procedure exactly as written. Then came the day that changed everything. We were escorting a convoy of medical supplies to a remote outpost when our lead vehicle hit an IED. Massive explosion, Humvee flipped, 3 soldiers trapped inside with a fuel leak. Standard protocol demanded we establish a perimeter, call for EOD, wait for specialized extraction equipment. Could take 2 hours minimum. Those soldiers would burn alive waiting for proper procedures. Anderson stood there frozen, regulation book practically spinning in his head. Follow protocol and watch his men die or break every rule he'd lived by for 2 decades. The fuel leak was getting worse. Smoke rising from the engine compartment. Private Davis screaming from inside the vehicle, leg pinned under twisted metal. "Sir, we need to get them out now," Sergeant Williams yelled. Anderson's jaw tightened. For 30 seconds, he just stared at that burning vehicle. You could see the internal war playing out on his face. Then something snapped. "Forget the damn regulations. Everyone grab some gear and help me flip this thing." We used tow cables, a winch from our recovery vehicle, and pure adrenaline. Anderson personally crawled under the Humvee to free Davis, diesel fuel dripping on his uniform. Took us 40 minutes to extract all 3 soldiers. Burns, broken bones, but alive. Anderson violated about 15 different safety protocols and probably saved 3 lives. The real shock came during the after-action report. Instead of covering up his protocol violations, Anderson documented every single one. Listed each regulation he'd broken and why. "If headquarters wants to court-martial me for saving my soldiers, that's their choice," he told us. But I won't lie about what happened. Battalion commander read the report, called Anderson into his office. We all expected him to get relieved of command, maybe face criminal charges. 2 hours later, Anderson came out grinning. Turns out the colonel had been waiting 20 years for someone to show that common sense sometimes trumps regulations. Anderson got promoted to major 6 months later. The incident became a case study at the War College about adaptive leadership under extreme circumstances. But the biggest change was in Anderson himself. Still followed regulations, but started thinking about why they existed instead of just blindly enforcing them. He began allowing small uniform infractions during downtime. Let soldiers wear non-regulation boots if they prevented injuries. Actually listened when we suggested tactical modifications. The unit's morale improved dramatically. We went from resenting his micromanagement to respecting his judgment. Anderson learned that good leaders know when rules help and when they hurt. Years later, after he made colonel, Anderson would tell new officers about that day. "Regulations exist to serve the mission and protect soldiers," he'd say. "When they stop doing either, you need to make a choice." Davis, the soldier Anderson pulled from that Humvee, named his son after the captain. Still sends Christmas cards thanking him for choosing people over paperwork. That burning vehicle taught us all something important. The best leaders aren't the ones who never break rules. They're the ones who break them for the right reasons at the right time. Protocol matters, but people matter more. That's the difference between management and leadership.